And thank you very much, UK Africa Summit, for inviting us for this great interface. As you have been told, I'm coming from the Central Bank of Uganda, and we want to agree with you that now, as we speak right now, there's no country that would attract foreign direct investment better than Uganda. There wouldn't have been any more country that could attract foreign direct investment than what we are doing in Uganda. Number one is that we have peace and security. These are sacrosanct. Peace and security are the parameters that are sacrosanct for anyone who wants to invest money. Uganda is a country which has invested very heavily in creating peace and security, and we have no problem in having your money, investing it in any way that you would want legally. We are talking about credible money. So in terms of selecting countries where you want to invest, the best country, as we speak right now, is Uganda. I've been working with African Development Bank, and we've been working in fragile states. I've been quite familiar with what is happening in most of these African countries. There is no country which commands respect in peace and security than what Uganda is right now experiencing. And this has been there for quite some time. Number two is that we liberalized both capital and financial accounts. Our both capital and financial accounts are 100% liberalized in terms of ownership of property, ownership of enterprise, and investment, if you want investment. So if you want to invest, we have 100% liberal financial and capital markets. And therefore, it is not possible that anyone can hinder. You will not have any instruments that can hinder you in terms of investing in that regard. We have number three, issues that can work in favor of your investment. We have invested very heavily as a country in what we call tools. You know, when we talk about tools, when we talk about financial instruments, as a central bank, we have invested very heavily in very good monetary policy instruments. What have these instruments done and what are they? We have made sure that our monetary policy works very well in terms of projecting your investment. What do we mean here? We have controlled inflation. We have controlled what we call fundamentals of investment. The number one is inflation. Our inflation currently is 3.9%. We have controlled inflation more than Europe, even here, more than the US. 3.9%. In fact, even during COVID, Uganda never suffered from very high levels of inflation. So our inflation is currently 3.9. This is the headline. Core is slightly higher, but it's also around about 4.1. But we are projecting to bring them 3.4, 3.6 respectively. So in terms of price stability, which is our main mandate, we are above the mark, and so you cannot argue that your money is going to lose value in terms of the future value of money. So inflation, very well controlled. Two, we also have been able to control other fundamentals. And most of these fundamentals is, apart from price stability, is to ensure that there is soundness of the financial system. Our financial system is extremely sound. You have not heard that we have closed any single bank. We have 22 of them, 22 commercial banks. We have got 3 Tier 2 banks. We are also licensing these days large circles. And all these almost 32 institutions are performing well. They are sound and they are lending. NPL is very, very small, 2.4 these non-performing assets, 2.4 to about 4%. And also this is a very, very big achievement. Most of them are actually here. For example, you can see Power Bank is here. They have less, your NPR, I'm sure it is less than 3%. So that shows a very, very good economic environment. So our economic fundamentals, control of inflation, soundness with the financial system, have now resulted in number 4, growth. We are presiding over an economy that has persistently grown for almost the last 15 years at the rate which is more than 6% per annum. And this is very, very important, because if you want to invest, nobody wants to invest in an economy that it has negative growth. So we are at the mark, and sometimes many years beyond the mark, to ensure that growth is there. How do we measure this growth? When we are measuring an economy that is growing, we have consumption, we have investment, we have current account, which is the exports, and then the export receipts, import invoices, plus what is happening domestic and domestic both consumption and domestic investment, which is called domestic absorption, plus government expenditure. These days, as I'm going to put the 5th point, is that this growth is about 6.3 per annum, which reflects an economy that is really rebounding, not only from COVID, but for us, even under COVID, we never experienced negative growth. The lowest growth we have had in the last 20 years is 1.9. This during COVID 2021, 22, 2021, 1.9. And this is a very, very serious performance of any economy. You can kindly put up your hand if you know an economy that grew even during COVID at a rate which is as fundamental as that. It was actually very, very high growth given the problems that we were having. Now, the last, the 5th point is that these days we are working on green financing, also having sustainability certification. We are very aware of the importance of ESG, so we have developed guidelines as a bank, and we are talking about now green bonds. Yesterday I had a very big meeting, very many meetings, and I think my colleagues are here. We are talking about diaspora bonds, green taxonomy financing. We talk about sustainability certification. We are at par with what the global economy requires, and we have developed guidelines as a bank, even in our commercial banks and other SFIs, institutions which we are regulating. We are developing parameters to incorporate in the supervision, so that our bank supervision also incorporates green financing. And we are developing a taxonomy. We are going to work with the European Investment Bank to ensure that we are at par with ensuring that our financing, our supervision, our operations, our economic activity, lending are consistent with green finance, are consistent with the lending that also ensures that we are doing extremely well. Now, as a professor, as an individual, later on the central bank, is that as a professor of economics, I'm working also on ensuring that we revolutionize the teaching of economics. I've even brought a book for you here. I've published a book which is called Transformative Economics, as Augustus Nuwagaba was a professor of economics. And this book takes this green taxonomy further. This book is available here, and on page 233 of that book, what I've done, I've changed the calculation. Those who are economists, I've changed the calculation of how we measure countries' growth. Because GDP, the way we calculate GDP, the way we calculate the wealth of a country is that we get consumption, we add investment, we add current account, the receipts we get from exports, the invoices from imports, it's what we call the current account. We add government expenditure, and we say UK's GDP is 3.4 trillion, German 3.8, the entire Africa 1.2, America 24.7, China 17.7, second economy and Uganda currently $61.3 billion, which means the largest economy in the world is the US, 27.7, followed by China, followed by Japan. You have Germany, the best economy in Europe, fourth in the world, but Uganda 61.3. And I'm saying no, this is wrong. I'm saying you must discount the depletion of resources, terrestrial, aquatic, and also air pollution. What did these activities do in terms of depletion of these resources? And I'm saying now, therefore, GDP, those who have been in economics class, is equal to C plus I plus X minus M plus G minus E. I'm just subtracting E. This E is environmental costing of what each economic activity has done in order to discount it, because next year this GDP cannot be the same. So I'm therefore saying this growth is not correct. We must discount environmental costing, what you have done on environment, and I'm therefore coming with the new calculation. I'm proceeding to Davos actually. I've already gazetted it. Those who are Ugandans in Uganda have gazetted it. I'm working with the leading universities in Uganda. Makerere, for example, Bank of Uganda, UBOS, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, and I'm moving very far and fast to ensure that nobody steals it from me. But if you steal from me, you are going to pay $400 billion. I'm going to charge you $200 million for piracy. So I own this formula now, and I want to see how we can be able to incorporate now this ESG sustainability certification in now determination of GDP, and I'm revolutionizing also the teaching of economics globally to ensure that environmental sustainability and certification can also come in our calculation of growth. So we are doing extremely well. Finally, I want to attract you to come to Uganda for foreign direct investment, because the increasingly, when you look at what is happening in many countries are fragile, almost fragile states. But for us, we are trying to build an economy that is robust in terms of growth, that is robust in terms of financial system, that is robust in terms of projecting. We now have oil and gas, and our oil and gas is increasingly showing that we can use it for having what we are calling the tenfold growth. Now we are working on tenfold growth. This is making sure that our GDP can come about $500 billion. It is not very bad to dream big. It is not bad to dream big. What you need to do is that you scale fast, and if we achieve 200 billion by 2040, well and good. So we are thinking that with these things I've explained, we can double Uganda's GDP currently at $61.3 billion, double it every 5 years, and achieve 2040 about $500 billion. And we want everybody to dream with us. We don't want any pessimism here. So dream with us. Rome was not built the same day. This UK was not built the same day. It was built with men and women who were projecting and who are dreaming, and we are here. And that's what it is. Thank you, Susan.
So speaking of high growth sectors, if we're looking at speaking to investors from the UK, you've spoken of oil and gas. So if you look at oil and gas, infrastructure, agro-industrial zones, clean energy, where do you think the strongest returns for investors would lie?
Yeah, thank you very much, Susan. We, as a government of Uganda, we are working on tenfold growth. That's what we are thinking. And it is going to come from 4 major areas. Number 1, we are going to work on agro-industrialization. And the agro-industrialization, for example, if we talk about the coffee subsector alone, this year, and since Uganda was created in 1894, it has never crossed the amount of influence that we got this year. $2.1 billion. $2.1 billion. The coffee value chain is 136 billion, 136. We have been even not having 1% of it, because 1% would be 1.36. We have not been having for all these years, 60 years even after independence, of even 1%. Now this year we were able to get 2.1, so which means we are above 1% for the entire coffee value chain. But as you can see, still 136 and going on to 2.1. So there is a great potential for agro-industrialization in the areas of coffee subsector. We have got cocoa, we have got fruits, we have got juices, we have got all those areas. So that's a fundamental area of investment, and it is number one. We have got 20 programs as a country: agro-industrialization, urban infrastructure growth, and I've seen my colleague here on urban industrialization and so on. So we are thinking that agro-industrialization is a fundamental sector which is supposed to transform the economy at that rate. Two, we have got tourism, the tourism subsector. This year we got between 1.6 to 1.7 billion dollars, and that has been long. And this has been without good roads, without good communication, without railway systems, and all those factors. But now we are very well endowed in telecommunication, in the road network, greatly improved in energy. We are having more energy actually now than the one we are generating. We still have a small problem, and my sister is here, the minister is here, but she has solved most of the problem. A very big round of applause, actually, in terms of energy generation. Karuma Dam, 600 megawatts. We have Ayago dams. We have worked on generation. So if this is completed, and on energy, we are there. So on roads we are doing well. The deficit is not as it used to be. So tourism sector is a very, very fundamental sector that is going to create this acceleration. Then we have mineral development led by oil and gas. We are going to generate approximately 270 barrels a day. With the gas alone of 120 cubic meters of gas, and the country can only use about 30, even about 90 for export. This is a very also good sector. Gold, and for us at the central bank, we are ready. We are going to engage also in gold. Gold last year was 3.8 billion. But when you look on its current account, on the current account of one commodity only, export import of gold, we do not earn much because of the lack of tracing. We have a refinery, and now we are refining gold, and it is a very, very great resource that we are having. At the central bank, we are ready. As I speak right now, we are ready to engage in gold. We have other minerals, and we are thinking that this is going to be great in terms of this acceleration. We have got the STIs, science, technology, and innovation. Here we are doing a lot of work in AI, in ensuring that we capture space in ICTs. We are doing very well, and all these are areas and language which are likely to do very well. So these areas, let's use an acronym called ATMs: agro-industrialization, tourism, mineral development, STIs, science, technology, and innovation, are the drivers, are the ones that are going to drive this process. As we speak right now, this GDP of 61.3 in Uganda, where the question should be, Professor, where is it coming from? It is currently it is coming from telecommunications and banking. These are the services sectors. But the country, if you look at employment, for example, the employment figures are not coming from telecommunications and banking and service sectors. Even in tourism, it is coming from agriculture, for example, which employs more than 70%. So which means you need to structurally transform the economy in that regard. Structural transformation of an economy is not growth. You can have growth without transformation. And when you have that, people will complain. Everybody is going to complain. I'm not part of this growth. If you hear people complaining that they are not part of that growth, it will mean something simple. That the factors, that the drivers of growth are coming from the wrong side. And that's what we are saying. So we want a structural transformation of the economy to ensure that the people who are employed in the largest economy are in the sector which also is contributing the largest contribution to GDP. So let me repeat it and complete that point. Our GDP of $61.3 billion, 43.3% of that is coming from telecommunications and banking, which are services. But they are not the ones which are employing, that's what I'm saying, the great number of people. So you need to make that upside down. You need to revitalize that to ensure that the sector which is contributing to the largest GDP is also the sector that is employing people. So that you have what you call inclusive growth. That's what inclusive growth is about.
Okay. Thank you very much. I would like to take a couple of questions for Professor Nuwagaba in a few words, and then your question.
Hi, my name is Manov. I heard you speak about an equation that included the environmental impact. How are you going to offset this? And could you explain for some new entrepreneurs entering the space how we can kind of come and reduce the environmental impact as well?
Thank you.
Thank you very definitely. I'm not going to ask you a question. I'm just going to remind you to always add on the reasons why you should invest in Uganda. And I want to thank you for the points that you have raised. Don't forget to tell people that the geographical position of Uganda on the African map is an advantage. Although Uganda is landlocked, we call it an advantage. We are land-linked. When you invest in Uganda, you get access to various markets. Yeah. DRC, South Sudan, the entire region. And the second point is that Uganda is at the equator where we find snow. Where we find snow at the equator. Then the third one is the food that we have, which is organic. Food is very critical. The last one is that we are happy people. We smile genuinely. And that Kampala does not sleep. So when you invest, you will enjoy. You'll enjoy Uganda, where we have the youngest population in the world. The youngest population. I think we have the species, the bird species that the world yearns for. Fauna and flora. So when you tell me to speak about Uganda, cows can come home. I thought that I should add this to what the professor has enumerated in the bid to attract you people to come home and invest and enjoy your investment. Thank you.
I had a follow-up question to the environmental responsibility when you talked about sustainability licensing. Is there an environment in Uganda for verification of, I'm assuming you're talking about carbon credits, is there a verification licensing system already in place for that?
Hello, my name is Parezo Chen, and I'm here in the UK. We're a food innovation company, and we are looking to do a lot in Africa as well to transfer the knowledge that we have gained as Africans in the diaspora. And thank you so much for your presentation. My question is, you've talked about science, technology, and innovation as part of your drivers. I just want to know, with the current disruptive innovation happening in the agricultural sector, you have eliminated how you have land and great facilities for growing food. But the future is now driven by technologies that don't require land. We have lab-grown meat, we have lab-grown coffee, and I just want to understand where Uganda places this in terms of the innovations that are actually driving the agricultural sector, and which are catapulting companies and countries that don't own land, but are actually selling agri-based products, at the speed of innovation much faster than what I think is happening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, over to you, Professor. You can use this one.
Yeah, thank you very much. On the issue of environmental impacts, as we have already said, we are doing well. We are developing guidelines for this green taxonomy financing. And these guidelines are going to have two major dimensions. One, for guiding our work as drivers of economic activity. Then two, in terms of green financing, for supervising commercial banks, tier 2s, large financial institutions, including large circles, to ensure that in their products they incorporate green financing. Now, these guidelines are also working hand in hand with sustainability certification, and we are doing a lot of work at the central bank, together with the Central Bank of Kenya, to ensure that here we are at par with what is required as entities that are ensuring sustainable utilization of resources. So what we are doing, therefore, is that we want to align with what the sustainable environment requirements are. Then two, because Uganda, as you know very well, we have got a very serious carbon credit, which we can estimate at approximately 33 million. Each one is about $10 times 33 million. That will be almost our carbon credit. Our carbon credit is positive because of the greenness in nature. That's what the minister has been saying. Uganda is a part of Africa. Those who may not know, it is one of the most beautiful countries. It is green throughout the year. Food is organic throughout the year. So in terms of carbon credit, we are doing very, very well. We are among the few countries out of 192 with the carbon credit that is positive. So this one we are not worried at all. We can calculate it very well. We have it. We should use it. And the Ugandans or anybody coming for foreign direct investment to invest in Uganda, we would like to plead with you that we need to preserve this. And we are doing for us now in this work, we have ability to even calculate it at whatever level you want. If you want me to be my colleague at the bank, we are using very serious tools. At the Bank of Uganda, we use what you call dynamic stochastic general equilibrium model. We can model in our monetary policy, we can model even for 10 years to come what this is going to do. And in our monetary policy transmission, we are also incorporating this. Using very sophisticated stochastic modeling, we measure how we can, for example, even physically respond to what we are spending in terms of this financing and how it can be. The minister has already said this is very, very nice. How Uganda our human capital is very, very high. We have got now universities, we have technical schools, we have young people who are willing to work, who are willing to invest in work. All our parents in Uganda are willing to invest in their children. They are willing to sacrifice anything to ensure that their child goes to school and also get the right education in terms of employability in this regard. We are a country which has hospitable people, and all of you can, it's not because we come from there. Maybe we are not the right people to do that. You are not the right person to say that my mother is a very good mother or a very good cook, probably. But let me tell you the truth. This is for a fact that you cannot find any country as hospitable people as the Ugandans. Because other countries, for us, you can go in a club, you enjoy yourself, at 2 a.m., move in another club at 5 a.m., and you in the morning, people have their clothes in the car and continue, and no one is going to touch, nobody is going to ask you whether, no one is going to ask you anything. It is a country which is liberal, economically, liberal, socially, liberal.
Well done. On that note, I want to
thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause to Professor Nuwagaba. And
just the last question on my sister here on SPI, on innovations in agriculture. In agriculture, what we are having is we are supporting any innovation in agriculture, especially in agro-industrialization. This is for the fact. So any new idea, any innovation is welcome, and we are ready to embrace it. This is our program number 1. Government has 20 programs, and agro-industrialization is program number 1. There's no one here in this room, whether Ugandan or our friends, who can say I was in Uganda, I wanted to invest in this, and I was stopped in terms of innovation and technology.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Can we give a round of applause to Professor Nuwagaba? And if you have any more questions for him, he is still in the room, so please feel free to engage him at any opportunity on any other questions that you may have for him on innovations in FDI as far as Uganda is concerned.
Thank you.
I have a small comment. I don't know. I comment that you excuse me if what I'm going to address has already been addressed. Now, my sister is here. She's our
She's the head of state
in charge of East African affairs. Now, I'm very glad that Honorable Bank of Uganda is here. In her presentation you had, when she was presenting here, that one of the problems that we have is, let me put it this way. I told you in the morning, let me begin like this. I told you in the morning that our economies, for example, the Ugandan economy is 100% liberalized. Our financial and capital accounts are 150% liberalized. Now, when it comes to trade, it is not the case. The key instruments of global economic governance are not liberalized the way our capital and financial accounts are liberalized. In the English language, let's say, talk in the English language. In the English language, is that when I'm doing business, especially with the UK, with US markets, European Union markets, the way you are doing business, for example, EU and Uganda, is not that you can say what you want. She told you. You need rules of origin, you need guarantees, you need all these key instruments of this economic. And so, for me, in terms of digitalizing this process, I don't know what we can do to ensure that the way we ourselves have liberalized these markets, you can bring your money, nobody's going to stop you. The assumption was that also we can trade, nobody's going to stop you. But people stop you. People stop you. Don't think that what you want to save, you can actually save it. You go to Sainsbury, just go to Sainsbury, Tesco, all these powerful supermarkets here. You cannot sell there anything that you actually want. And what is there in that supermarket is not that what we, for example, want to sell there in Uganda is of lesser quality than what you are having there. I can give example, for example, bananas, but because the rules of origin, as you were saying, guarantees and so on. So how do we harmonize this process? It's also very, very important. Then lastly, on the issue of, that was on trade, on the issue of banking areas, and they're telling you about branch and so on and so forth. For us, we are helped you now.
Headmaster. In front of the headmaster.
This Julius is in charge of Power Bank, has been Post Bank. It's a government bank. We have got 22 commercial banks, and 3 of them are government, and is managing one of them, the government banks. Others are private. 19 of them are private banks. Now, the problem also, which we have solved for you and the officer, is that supervision, bank supervision, and I want you to come and do business with us. This is very serious business. We have now developed parameters for SupTech. We want supervision to be digital. We have digitalized supervision. We want real-time data. These people, the way they give us data on supervision is that if I'm going to ABSA and Power Bank, they are up to them. It is up to them to. I'm a supervisor of that commercial bank. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? It's up to them to give me the information.
Good afternoon.